Welcome back to Power, Politics, and Popcorn. Yes, Sunday is the 83rd Annual Academy Awards. It will weave its Oscar magic. Speaking of power. Now, the King's Speech seems like the overwhelming favorite. It will go against the likes of The Social Network, but there will also be significant Canadian representation at the ceremony as well. There usually is. But who are the Canadian contenders this year? Let's take a look. It's the one time of year I get to say, and the nominees are... For Barney's version, makeup artist Adrienne Moreau. The Montreal native faced the challenge of aging lead actors Paul Giamatti and Rosamund Pike through decades and through sickness. In the Best Animated Film category, How to Train Your Dragon by Dean DeBlois, he grew up in Elmer, Quebec, and studied animation at the now legendary Sheridan College in Oakville, Ontario. And Vancouver's Craig Berkey is nominated twice for sound editing and mixing on the box office hit True Grit from the Coen brothers. Berkey created the ambient noise and the sounds of the guns and the horses of the 19th century American West. And finally, for Best Foreign Language Film, Incendie by Montreal director Denis Villeneuve. This is a very provocative film. It's set both in Montreal and in Jordan, and it will face a very tough race against Javier Bardem's Spanish tour de force, Beautiful. All right, let's get at this stuff. Joining me now to talk about the Oscars is the Minister of Heritage, movie lover, James Moore. Minister, good to have you back. This is like our annual Oscar bet now. We'll be breaking out whatever you break out.
Our quarterly arts conversation.
That's right. We can make it more frequent. We both love the arts. Look at the great Canadian team. Yeah, Team Canada at the Oscars is great. Who do you think Canada's best shot is at the Oscars this year?
Well, I was really pleased when I saw actually the rundown that was released today of the blow-by-blow, the sequencing of the events on Sunday night for the Academy Awards, and the best foreign language film, which is probably one of the things we were most proud of as Canadians. Incendie, the film by Denis Villeneuve out of Montreal, is going to be shown. It's going to be on the air. And I think that's an incredible success story on a bunch of levels. One is obviously it's a French language film. Second is that it actually shows an important public policy working in action, which is co-production agreements that work really well. And this was a co-production, which is the treatment of foreign and domestic capital and the investment into films the same way. And Incendie is a fantastic film. We had a screening of it on Parliament Hill. I think actually you and some of the folks at CBC were there. And it was it's a really very intense and impressive movie, and it's in the best foreign language film, but anybody who wants to see just a truly fantastic film should watch this film because it's really well done and some great performances.
And based on a Canadian play, so I mean this is truly Canadian content. Now I just wonder, as you mentioned it, again it's a French film, but is it any reflection on the quality of English Canadian films that we often see a French film or even an Inuit language film get nominated for best foreign film, but we rarely see an English-speaking Canadian film get any nominations like this?
Yeah, I mean, we've had our successes in the past. I mean, obviously Barney's version is written on, it has the nomination for the best makeup, but I think that sells the movie short. I think anybody who's seen Barney's version, I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has close to a 90% score, which is therefore, it's a really popular film. Paul Giamatti is one of a handful of the best actors of our time. I would say it would be Sean Penn, Paul Giamatti, Christian Bale, a couple of others. And Paul Giamatti is brilliant in this film. Mordecai is based on Mordecai Richter's last and most people say best book, and it does incredibly well. So we have two great Canadian success stories being celebrated on Sunday night.
That's the kind of exposure that matters. I just wonder, and Barney's version will get some attention, maybe not the attention it deserves on that night. How does English Canadian film get more exposure?
Well, I just think repetition and pushing and celebrating and promoting and continuing to have great community. Look, the Toronto International Film Festival is the largest public film festival in the world. Other ones are emerging out here in Vancouver. We have the Vancouver International Film Festival. We need to keep pushing, keep promoting. Telefilm does a great job. NFB, National Film Board, continues to do a great job embracing new media, pushing things out, pushing out Canadian products, supporting our creators, and they continue to do a great job. But also, and I have to say this, Evan, this is really important, we also have to stand up to the Academy Awards when they snub great Canadian content, because I'm personally very outraged at the Academy. I'm outraged at what they left out, and I think your staff actually have a clip of what I'm talking about. There was a great Canadian film this year, and you and George Stroumboulopoulos, two great talents at the CBC, were snubbed by the Academy. And I think they have a clip that they might play right now.
I want to bring you the story of a 17-year-old who might just be the best amateur hockey player in the country today. The almost unbelievable thing is, Farley Gordon has been playing organized hockey for exactly 1 game. Insiders are already suggesting that his name might one day be mentioned in the same exalted company. God,
Jesse,
you know,
Jesse
Minister.
Eisenberg, Best Actor, True Grit, Paul Giamatti, Christian Bale, Best Supporting Actor. I mean, forget, you and George Stroumboulopoulos have been robbed. Now, you're a humble guy, so I'm going to hijack your show for a second. I'm going to challenge you right now. You don't like to complain publicly, but this is your opportunity. I'm prompting you. Complain to the Academy about how Score, the hockey musical, got such rubbish treatment by the Academy.
Well, I will say Mike McGowan, writer and director of the great film Score, and I will take full responsibility for the fact that it didn't get nominated. I think it was my performance that may have dragged it down, not raised it up. But we were robbed on Score, and I do appreciate you pointing out. It was a great film. It was supported by many Canadians. It was great, and thank you, by the way, for totally humiliating me. By the way, folks, what you saw of Score... I
can't save you from yourself sometimes, Evan. I can't save you from yourself.
I will say, what you saw of Score, those are perhaps the lowest moments. The rest of the movie is great, and Olivia Newton-John's in it. It's great. But let's go through it. This is what people are waiting for. Minister, let's do our Oscar picks, and here they are. Okay, first let's start with Best Actor. Who your pick?
Best Actor category, I think... Clearly, Colin Firth has it. I mean, the King's Speech is a brilliant movie, and the way that he captures King George VI, the stammering, he gets it just right, and you see his embarrassment, his struggle, his pride, all being conflicted at the same time, and the way that Colin Firth just delivers that performance of King George VI is really brilliant.
Okay, well, by the way, that was a wonderful performance, and it's hard to believe Jeffrey Rush, who plays right beside him, isn't also nominated for Best Actor. I know he's Best Supporting Actor, but he did a great role. What about Best Female Actor, Best Actress?
Tougher call. I mean, I think Natalie Portman deserves it. Black Swan is... her performance is better than the movie. But I think she's brilliant, and I think Natalie Portman is one of the great young thespians, and I think I think her time's come.
Natalie Portman. I actually haven't seen that one. I hear it's an amazing performance and a bit creepy. But this is the big one, okay?
Yeah, performance is better than the movie.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. All right, so now it's Best Film. Now, The King's Speech and The Social Network, True Grit, there's some unbelievable films this year, frankly. The films are really sophisticated. I thought there was an excellent crop this year. It's a tough call. Who do you pick?
Personally, I most enjoyed Social Network. That's my personal pick. I also think Toy Story 3. You know, I think animated films don't get their due. I think new media doesn't get its due. I personally preferred Social Network of the picks. It was those three. I would rank them: Social Network 1. I would say True Grit number 2. Toy Story 3 would be my top 3. But because I think Social Network is an interesting story, but the development and the establishment of Facebook, but it's told really, really well. It's not a particularly unique but what's so interesting about it, of course, is that Facebook started in 2005. Now they have close to 600 million users on Facebook. More Canadians use Facebook than any other country in the world per capita. So it's an interesting story, and it's a good one that needs to be told. And I think they do a great job. And
a hell of a script. You know, that moment, do I have your complete attention? No, you don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's Aaron Sorkin, right? This Best Original Screenplay, which Aaron Sorkin should get for this. Aaron Sorkin is a magician. He was brilliant on The West Wing. He's been brilliant on almost everything he's ever touched. And on Social Network, he nails it.
I would agree. I like Social Network. I think King's Speech will win that one. I think I agree with you on Colin Firth, and I have no idea on the female actress. I'm going to go with Natalie Portman because my wife says that's the call.
I think 5 years from now, we'll look back at Social Network and think maybe it was a little bit dated, but I think it's a contemporary choice in a contemporary category. True Grit might have more staying power. King's Speech might have more staying power over time. We may look back and think that maybe they should have won, but the truth is, for this year, for the story that was told and the contemporary debate about Facebook and digital universe and all that, and the story of Facebook, it was, I think, the best movie of the year.
All right, well, we will be tallying up the scores. That's the Minister of Heritage, James Moore, not only here with his picks, but humiliating a host on CBC. That in and of itself gets you the Oscar.
Bye, movie star.
I must give him credit. He cooked that little sequence up with some of my traitorous producers here. I did not know that was coming. Well done, all of you. By the way, a little tweet here from Progress for Canada. Why are you talking about Oscars? Progress for Canada, come on. Oscar night's on Sunday. You got to do that. Culture and politics do mix. All right, still the